This may not be the boat for you. If you want to do 30 knots and never miss a fuel dock, she's not your girl. If you want a monohull, she's not your girl. If you want to do something pioneering and innovative, this might be the boat for you. Ahoy hoy, I am Captain Boomies with Boat Test, and today I am on the Silent Yacht 62, and we're gonna test her out. Boat Test, I am so excited to introduce you to my very good friend and new Boat Test captain, Captain Charlotte. Captain Charlotte comes to us from the UK.
Hi, Captain Boomies, and hi everybody. I'm so excited to be with you here in the Bahamas, and let's get going.
One of the things that I find so disconcerting on this boat is that when we get ready to get underway, I literally have to go around and warn everyone what to expect, because that's me putting it in gear and you don't hear anything.
Yeah. It's very different, and it's a very weird feeling that it takes a while to get used to. And obviously all the crew and everybody needs to get used to it too, because they don't know you're moving until you're 10 feet away from the dock.
That's pretty funny. Tiller steering. I haven't had to use a tiller in a very long time.
Yeah, I can't actually remember the last time that I used one until I came onto this boat.
I imagine the trickiest part is knowing when to release it back to center line. Nope, still gotta keep going. All right, now we're gonna put her on autopilot again, and let's take her through her paces.
The Silent Yacht 62 is unlike any other boat we have ever tested. She is powered by 280 kilowatt electric motors, and under the right conditions, at about 3 knots, she could run forever by using less energy than she makes with an 8-hour day of good sunlight. She's designed to go only at displacement speeds. So if you want a 20-knot cruiser, the Silent Yacht 62 is not for you.
Let's go.
So we're going 1 kilowatt, and the speed here is 3.4 knots.
You got it. Let me take it up. I think it's also interesting to know that we're going through the RPMs. So now we're at 250 RPM. This is already a much slower RPM than most diesel boats that you're going to be running in this size. Typically, one click in gear is 600 RPM.
Yeah, and that first click is normally always to 4.5 knots. Whereas with this, you're getting 3, so it's just that extra bit slower.
With the twin 180 kilowatt electric motors turning just 200 RPM and consuming 1.5 kilowatts per motor, the Silent Yacht 62 we tested had a range of 278 nautical miles with a 10% battery capacity reserve. But battery technology is changing quickly, and we're told the next 62 completed will have a battery capacity 21% greater with a commensurate increase in range.
Making that 6 kilowatts at 300 RPM.
This is 450 RPM, and this is about your standard cruise range.
Yeah, so this is the standard cruising speed. I mean, we're not using many kilowatts here. And we're doing around 6 to 7 knots, so it's a good speed, and it's sustainable for quite a long range at this speed.
The average speed on our reciprocal runs at 450 RPM was 7.2 knots, and we burned an average of 37 kilowatts for a range of 50 nautical miles. By running the generator for just 2 hours, the batteries will be topped off, and we can run at 7.2 knots for another 4 hours, plus a little more thanks to whatever the solar panels have contributed in that time.
Our solar panels are doing a very good job right now of feeding back into the system.
We are making currently about 6 kilowatts of solar.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
So we're burning 40, but we're making 7 with the solar panels.
If we bring the revs down again and we come to about 5 knots, you'll see it makes a massive difference, and then you can pretty much run equal.
Averaging 5 knots, we burned 10 kilowatts per hour at 300 RPM. That gave us a healthy range of 128 nautical miles and an endurance of 25 hours with a 10% battery reserve.
So essentially, by slowing down and managing my solar versus my power draw from the motors, I could cruise indefinitely during the day.
100%, but you would have to slow right down. So we're talking around 4 knots rather than 6 knots. So it's very, very slow, but if you did want to just cruise and not run the generator, not burn any fuel at all, as long as you've got sunlight, you can do that.
That's very interesting.
Over 2 days of testing, we found that we could average 4.15 knots and burn just 5 kilowatts per hour, or 3 kilowatts less than the solar panels can generate per hour in the Bahamian sun. At that rate of speed, we could theoretically travel for over 2 days at 4 knots without sunlight.
Okay, so flat out.
I'm gonna take it all the way up, flat out. Without gearing, even RPMs seem arbitrary. I feel like I'm paying more attention to the power draw as my indication than the RPM.
For sure, because the power draw will only go up so much. The RPM we know maxes out at around 800, but it takes a while to build. So it's not like a normal engine boat where you put the throttle down, you see that RPM come straight up. You've got to wait for it. So we're still rising now.
Okay, that's flat out. We're doing 843 RPM, and the power draw is vicious. We're doing 140 on each side. Oh my gosh.
280 kilowatts.
That's 280 kilowatts. Oh, poor
So
boat.
that's about an hour of driving.
But we're
with
doing
one full
11.
battery.
But we're doing 11 knots.
Yeah, it does actually feel quite fast now. Maybe because I'm so used to going slow.
No yacht is perfect. They're all a compromise, and this one is no exception. She's one of the first Silent Yacht 62s produced under the new ownership, and this model is evolving even as we speak. To see the complete table of speed, kilowatt burn, and range, be sure to go to the Silent Yacht 62 page on BoatTest.
I would do a wheel with this. I would change this setting. So the single throttle, when you pull it back into neutral and you split the sticks, normally it automatically knows that you want to come out of single throttle mode.
Yeah.
This one doesn't do that. So I feel like I'm having to work harder to engage what I want to engage.
Yeah, it's just getting used to the systems. But I mean, I agree with you. It should automatically turn off single lever when you pull it back, and you should be able to split the sticks. But
I imagine that's just a software thing, though.
it should just be a software update.
Okay. Good thing we've got the Starlink to download it.
Because the 62 comes equipped with Starlink, the boat and the operator are never out of touch with the factory, which constantly monitors its vessels. Silent Yachts is a pioneer in this functionality in large production boats. Virtually all of the technical aspects of the boat can be adjusted via telemetrics by the techs at the factory. This feature would give me peace of mind on any yacht, and I predict in a few years it will become common on all large cruising yachts.
You've also taken this boat out in bigger weather.
Yeah.
What was that experience like?
It handles like any catamaran would handle in big seas. So we did have 4-meter seas on the way up to the Cannes boat show. And it was uncomfortable, I'm not gonna lie, but it was manageable. We went through it at around 7 to 8 knots. We were running fast to get out of the storm.
Just in case you're wondering, the Silent Yacht 62 we tested has 500 gallons of fuel. With a judicious use of diesel and solar power generation, the Silent Yacht 62 can make most passages of 300 or 400 miles at 7 or 8 knots. But more about that in our deep dive video into the yacht's revolutionary propulsion system.
So those do seem like unique circumstances that you were in, where you had a destination to get to and a timeline to get there, so you didn't have a lot of say in your weather window and when to go and how fast to go.
Yeah.
Whereas we're in the Bahamas, it's completely gorgeous here. I'm perfectly happy to slowly slide by these beautiful islands.
And this is what this boat is designed for. Island hopping, you're not in a rush to get anywhere, a couple of hours cruising every day, drop the hook, aircon on, sunbathing, a few drinks in the back, and that's how this boat is designed to be used. I mean, for today, it's ideal.
I can't think of a better cruising grounds than the Bahamas for the Silent Yacht 62. But because of her sustainable energy supply, the world is her oyster.
Thank you so much for joining me on this performance test of the Silent Yacht 62. Because she's so innovative and unique, we're gonna do a deep dive into the systems on board in the next video. I'm Captain Boomies, reminding you, life is better on a quiet boat.